Bitch, are you producing?
Niggas is back. That niggas is back.
For about 20 years.
As always, it's the Black Rasslin Podcast, giving you niggas wrestling from a nigga perspective. As always,
This nigga gave you the white fingers.
He really did hit me with the 5, 4, 3.
And 5, 4, 3, 2,
1. White finger.
This is Cal. RockTheDub.com, but you already knew that. The squad, as always, is here. Say what's good to the people, y'all.
You're IlFam 79 on your social media choice, man. This is the exhale. This is the exhale.
There you go.
Money making Math Damon from the 410. What up, bitch?
Why?
Wrestling.
Wrestling.
Yo, really quick, the numbers went crazy last week. Numbers went crazy last week. I don't know if niggas peeped at the numbers. The numbers did well.
One thing I didn't check.
Nigga, I ain't never checked no numbers.
But do you even have access? Do we allow you access? That's probably for the best, huh? It'll be one Saturday. I can't log in. There's somehow all the episodes is gone.
How they change all this shit?
I didn't know what happened.
That really happened.
That really happened that one Saturday.
Pre-algebra did all that shit.
The psychopath.
Motherfucking right.
Pre-algebra know where all the bodies is buried because he put them there.
Hey, yo, if they did like a little black comedy movie, yo, like to show how wild pre-algebra is, every time pre-algebra walk in the room, like you just hear the music for Serial Killer.
He ain't doing shit.
He wouldn't even be doing nothing. They just passed to him and he looked at the camera.
He asking you if he can play the game, but it's some craziness.
Let me see if I can find this shit. Hold on.
Then right, it'd be tripping because he'd walk up, ask this nigga Math for something. Daddy, can I have a fruit cup? We don't have no fruit cups.
That's good.
Hold on, let me see if I can show y'all niggas this shit.
That's good. Man, this episode did have a nice little uptick on it, didn't it?
Yeah.
Look at this shit.
Okay.
Look at this nigga, yo.
Look at this.
We waiting. We just see. Okay.
Yeah,
how the fuck do I? Sorry, people out there in listening land.
Yeah, he's awful.
See, you can't give niggas technology.
Give niggas technology, especially if he's only using his thumbs to work it.
You know, and
nigga gone, yo.
It's fresh off a kill. Shit.
Oh my god!
This bitch had a murder in the juice box.
That's the name of the show.
A murder in a juice box is good.
Yo, that's a sexual innuendo.
Jesus Christ, that's your child, boy.
Oh man, that's great.
Well, that's
it's been a week.
A murder. I was gonna say
the other show.
Sorry.
But I mean, it's not wrong. I mean, before we even get into, because I want to preface this episode by saying, if you guys are looking for any recaps of Raw, SmackDown, NXT, it's not happening.
It ain't here.
Keith Lee did win the 3-way dance against.
I did. So that means he's
him and Adam Cole for the title.
It's about to be lit.
In what's shortly become two night events on each of the competing wrestling shows. One is Fyter Fest, the other is NXT Great American Bash for no reason.
Nigga takeover.
But he's on night 2. That would be July the 8th. facing Adam Cole, and I guess whoever wins, it sounds like they're unifying those titles.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
Winner take all.
And I heard Keith Lee he beat Finn Balor to win that match.
Nigga.
That's juice.
If Adam Cole beats Keith Lee, I am going to lose my mind.
Let me say this again, because I promise we really not going to spend a lot of time talking about like
in-ring wrestling,
pro wrestling holds and matches and story. Fuck all that. But for everybody out there that doesn't like how we don't rock with Undisputed Era, who are y'all voting for?
Hold on, yo.
Whose corner are y'all
side.
in?
Choose your side, nigga.
Who are y'all? Because I know where I'm at. I know where I was before the match started.
You know where we stand.
Big facts. Big cartel.
Yeah.
Talk about it. But that's for another day, another episode. Want to shout out Andreas Hell, Kel Dansby, Corner Podcast. Spent damn near 15 minutes talking about the BRP 50.
Niggas is cooking, son.
Because it wasn't just like, hey, these guys put out a list and here it is. It was, all right, here's a list. What does this list say about the current landscape of pro wrestling? What was right? What did they think was wrong? Because there were, we dropped Juneteenth. We dropped the BRP 50.
We renaming Juneteenth, yo.
BRTeenth.
BRTeenth, my nigga. We run that. We run that week. That's our week.
So it's not.
It sound like a bad battle rapper.
It's not Moose
That's
Teeth.
Cool.
I said, hey, yo, that's funny.
We'll get to that in a little bit. All right. What was they mentioned? I think one of the first.
BRT does sound like a battle rapper.
one of the first beefs that they had was with Desmond Xavier not being on the list, which was something that people shared in the comments.
Desmond Xavier shared that, and I got a beef with it. But one band, one sound.
When you say you got a beef with it, do you want to clarify what you mean by that?
I'm gonna tell you why I have a beef. This is the beef. Desmond Xavier sat in our comment section like he bought seats. You know what I mean? Back and forth conversation. Last year, he was on the list and didn't acknowledge it at all.
At all.
So when you're not on the list,
in a year,
but that is the nature of people. That is very much the nature of people.
No, why do you think motherfuckers like to feed pigeons and try to shoot eagles?
So, but it's, the niggas that tell you that your song is whack, that your podcast isn't funny, that, you know what I mean? That's a USPA shirt.
Oh, that nigga pardon.
My nigga, those people sound way louder than, hey, you look nice today.
100% loud minority.
So the nature of people is, you didn't do what? Oh, you didn't include me, huh? And you want me to say that your list is valid, huh? So the nature of people is to focus on the negative. However, I am not regular people. And I think it's an amazing feat that we have used the medium of pro wrestling and the acute vision of African-American pro wrestlers.
And African-American pro wrestling fans.
Correct.
Shit. Hey, keep pardon, nigga. You pardon. You pardon today.
Talking from our corner of the room, and the rest of the room starts to get quiet, and here's what we say, my nigga, to me, is amazing. I'm not the nigga that listens to the loud minority. I like to see what's actually moving and shaking.
Facts. What the people actually talking about. And that's not to say
I, on the other hand, argue with everyone.
That's a fact.
He argued with us.
Included.
Yeah, he don't like us. He didn't like us last week. But that's not to say that Desmond wouldn't have been like if it was a top 75.
Shout out to the.
Honestly, if it was a top 55, Desmond Xavier probably would have made it.
Yeah.
Shout out to the after 50.
Yeah.
Do you want to? Are we commenting on that now? Or just let the people.
Nah, fuck them people.
Yeah. Here you go. But like, comment, and subscribe.
Peon.
Peon. This nigga here.
Who was the one that had the bar? Peons for me to peon.
What peons for me to peon?
What white rapper
bar?
was that? No,
I have no idea.
Kanye.
That was fuck. Sorry,
BR-Teenth.
Peon.
That was BR-Teenth with that bar.
Hey yo.
It was a white rapper. I'm sorry, it was a white rapper. It was one of them raucous cats, if I'm not mistaken.
I say, yo.
Was it Smut Peddlers?
I grabbed the gat.
Was it the one guy?
Was it Mr.
You know
Eon?
what we on.
His name was Mr. Eon, wasn't it?
It was
just
Mr. Eon.
Peon. That I'm a peon.
Kendrick Lamar has a similar line. High and mighty.
The high and the mighty. To me, they just sound like a couple of high whiteys. You know them niggas got the beefing with Master Ace?
Yeah.
That was a bar from his diss on them?
It was.
Yeah.
High and whitey.
Brother Fam is a.
He said high and whitey's.
That's big Master Ace fan.
Master Ace got one of them. Probably 2000.
That might have been 2002.
1, 2.
Yeah.
So they was already out of the picture.
Yeah.
Yes.
High and Mighty was not doing shit in 2002.
No, I think they had
they weren't doing shit at all. They weren't doing
but
shit
I'm saying it's like
it was from like a show
any year,
when maybe they may have been popping or something. They had
not a year that we've existed was High and Mighty a thing.
Well, because what B-Boy Document would have been 99, I think,
which was stupid.
That was a stupid record, but it was a stupid record because of who they had on it.
B-Boy the Document.
I think Eminem was on that.
They
yeah.
But so 3 years. So Smut Peddlers would have come out maybe 2001.
Do you guys remember the cover of the Smut Peddlers album?
LSTER.
Yes.
I forgot that.
Yeah.
He had a suit on, right?
He had the king cape.
This shit is wild inside. All this is inside shit. If you don't know like hip hop, not even obscure hip hop, but if you ain't like read the source and saw these advertisements,
you wouldn't know
what the fuck we talk about.
But wait, all right, now I got a serious question, okay? As I'm about to share my screen, because if you go on YouTube and you can find the Black Rat, we're gonna look at this shit. Look at this shit right here. Can y'all see this? Just like zooming in and zoom back out. Sorry, that's fucked up. If you can go to YouTube and search, it's like, can I get in trouble for this?
No,
I don't even think this is a thing.
No,
this was on TV.
I don't think it's a thing yet.
All right, is that your final answer?
Hold on.
This is the wrong time to do this, Cal.
No, sir.
Spell red. LSTER. All right,
just trying to inform the people. You know what I'm saying?
100%.
My final answer. All right. I think that's close enough. All right.
I think that's close enough. It's a damn shame. Goddamn well, LSTER.
It had an E and an R in it.
Wow. Oh, I forgot about this.
100%.
Yeah.
Shouts out Beetlejuice, yo.
Yo, not Lester. Respect him.
Oh,
real
man.
nigga Lester.
We need
LSTER.
What if?
Oh shit.
All right, yeah, I got some ideas we should probably talk about
off air.
Oh man.
His face like the Buffy head.
We about to.
But I think the other thing, they not only Cal and Andreas were also not only saying that they thought Sasha Banks was too low, but that Willie Mack was too high.
They didn't necessarily say that he was too high. They said that they were surprised he was so high.
Which
they didn't
surprised
say he was
me.
Too high. Well, I mean, it's all kind of how you now. Who they definitely seem. Well, I don't want. I'm not. I ain't gonna
You
jump
better
into
not.
terms.
You better not, nigga.
No, we'll get to that in a second. We'll
We're
get to that in a second.
nigga.
But that this is why I asked, because
I can't wait for this conversation
because they seem to be big fans of Impact. They talked talked highly about Chris Bay and mentioned the fact that
But he's dope. So
he was dope because he's been dope, and I think he's been on one of their panels. Also, Chris Bay's also been at PWG, which they're big fans of.
They're from the same city.
But I think
they reside in the same city.
Vegas?
But it's one thing to be like, yeah, I recognize that this guy is dope. It's another thing to be like, he's been in the main event angle for the X Division title for, like, they know what's going on there.
Yeah.
So I was kind of surprised when they were discussing it, Willie Mack's place on the list. I figured, and again, no disrespect to none of y'all. Not making this list for none of y'all. We doing what we doing.
Do this for my people.
I'm not placing anybody to make you think that I want you to accept it based off of who you like. I was just kind of surprised. And I mean, I was also surprised that they thought Sasha was too low.
I think, the problem, Sasha's a real tough one to put low because you have to actually look at the fact that she was in the house most of the year.
You have to remember the year she had.
That's the thing, is it's tough because of the Rona, right? Because we've had like 2 years since March. So it's kind of really hard to look at actual May to May. And a lot of folks, and I think we may need personally to do a better job of letting niggas know that the list is
when it's between
May to May.
FYI,
it's May to May from here on out.
But I also say, FYI, I said that in the episode too, didn't I? Did I not mention?
No, we said it before. We said it pre. It's never posted until somebody asks, and I say it in the comments. But it's never posted. But Cal says it.
But either way,
it's May to May.
May to May.
The WrestleMania,
nigga.
Shout out to Justin Timberlake.
Last May, she was sitting out because she was pissed about the title, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she took the sabbatical.
A long sabbatical. To the point where they had to do a whole special with her coming back.
Her and Pam.
Pam. Shouts out soccer mom Pam.
Cakerton.
I'm sorry. It was funny. He said it, and I understood what he was saying immediately. Like I was right. Yeah, and I. But so she was out for a while, and if I'm not mistaken, she came back, and didn't she get injured?
No, well, she got injured later, but she came back and had that. She had the program with Becky Lynch.
That she lost.
It was a hell of a match. That Hell in a Cell match.
Very good match.
Very, very good match.
I mean, Sasha, and that's the thing. Sasha Banks is dope, and it wasn't like she was like she was in the upper teens, right? Like 12 or 14 or something like that.
She was 14.
I think for someone whose biggest feat was winning the women's tag championship like 3 weeks ago. And I don't want to disrespect because they're having a good run. Mm-hmm. They're wrestling on every show. They're probably having one of their best matches on the show currently as the women's tag champions. This is what we wanted last year.
You
know what I mean? But I know y'all remember. I remember the conversations in the comments when we were even talking about the rumors of her being pissed off about her situation.
Mm-hmm.
So I know people can't forget. That was my only thing with them saying Sasha was a little too low. Was I think they were building too much into the last couple weeks in comparison to the last, the totality of the 52 weeks or whatever that time frame is, specifically. That leads us to the other person I remember them mentioning being a little too low. And again, this is why I question how much of Impact Wrestling fan they are, because they said Moose.
Who?
Moose.
Oh, okay.
He was 44?
It's 44.
Moose.
Who?
They said Moose. Should we do...
I'm listening.
Should we tell? You want to tell the whole story?
Do I apologize now?
No.
So who?
To people for this, because we might have to backtrack a little about Quinn. Y'all know who Quinn is? Y'all don't know. Y'all don't know who Quinn is.
Quinn Balor is funny.
Y'all don't
Quinn
know.
Balor?
Y'all don't know who Quinn is, do you? Quinn Ojinaka,
the Mighty Quinn,
aka
the sad
Moose.
thing is, me and this nigga is a day apart.
He was born.
That's crazy.
How far is y'all from Seabrook, Maryland?
I've never heard of Seabrook.
Never heard of Seabrook. But shout out. This is why I was like, yo, okay, all right, Moose.
This is why I feel like we need to just take a...
Nah.
Wow. Is that Howard County? That's PG County. That's not far.
No,
definitely not far.
You could take a drive to where?
Ashlandham. Okay.
Yeah, we could take a drive there. It's like 25 minutes.
Yeah.
Is that why that's why he hopped on the live to show the workout regimen?
Don't do that. That's unnecessary.
Anyway, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Let's back up.
Oh, I thought you was, when you said hopped on, I thought you was talking about something else.
Don't do that. It's unnecessary.
Sorry.
So.
All right.
Because we got to start this from the actual beginning.
The actual
last year?
No.
The actual beginning is putting together the list.
Putting together the list.
One of the 11th hour conversations was Moose.
Mm-hmm.
Brother Fam.
And this is a conversation that
this is the 11th hour, niggas.
But have you ever had one of those like you start talking about something and then you realize like there's 2 or 3 different instances of people out in the world talking about it as well?
Mm-hmm.
But the energy, you know what I'm saying?
It was literally, we had, because we talked about it a good 20 minutes because we were trying to. I don't know about y'all. I'm a person that likes taking it back. You have a question. All right, let's go back to the beginning. Because the question was, how much credence is led to the TNA World Heavyweight Championship that Moose is currently rocking in Impact Wrestling?
Okay.
Let them know that we were all for seeing the nigga bring it back. Like niggas was like,
oh no,
shit, that's
trust
dope.
me. I have probably some of the most detailed notes I've ever had for an episode of this podcast. And I made it a note to make sure I shouted out Curtis Hughes. Y'all, old wrestling has no Mr. Hughes. Mr. Hughes.
Cat.
He's a trainer. His Instagram is Bodyguard Hughes. He's sharing a lot of old photos of him and Randy Savage, a lot of classic like stuff from like TV recordings and promos and things like that. He's big on, I guess he was a trainer and he trained both Apollo Crews and Moose. And he's very proud
That
of
makes
what they got
perfect
going
sense,
on.
by the way.
It does, right?
Yes.
Like you catch the vibe between the three of them.
Yes.
Impact Wrestling cuts Tessa Blanchard. Breaking news.
Hey, yo, the energy is crazy.
Now, I want to say, Black Wrestling Podcast listeners who are seeing, this is what it looks like. This is what happened. This is how the cake is made. My internet's usually a little fast. They terminated her contract. What could she have done?
No, I think, I don't know what she did, but the problem is that intergender wrestling is not going to be at
all.
And we'll get into that later on.
But they fired her because of that, though?
I don't think so.
Yo, your champion hasn't been on television in 6 months.
So then it's crazy that this comes up right now, right? Because what that does is make that Moose Championship higher. And
it's
that
sad
was
when you gotta kill a nigga you love.
This fucking ad shit just pissed me off. But get the fuck out. So they terminated her contract and stripped her of the title, but we don't have a reason as to why right now.
So right now,
Moose is holding
the champion,
the most important belt in Impact. This is why we had to have the conversation. And again,
very funny.
That was breaking during the show. We can't even have this conversation about Tessa Blanchard right now. I'd say next week we'll probably have more info, get in depth to that. But again,
it's crazy that it happened right now, though.
It's crazy that it happened right now, and again, it underscores the importance of the conversation we were having. Because I needed to find out if the TNA World Heavyweight Championship is even considered as a regular belt. It's not listed on Wikipedia as one of the current belts, nor is it shown as one of their titles on their website. But it's enough of an important story. Like this is Moose's storyline right now. Mm-hmm. Mr. Hughes showed he had a video of and no disrespect, but Moose kind of jacked Two Cold Scorpios, making sure that the ring announcer announces them the right way, type shit. I think he's making him calling him Mr. Impact or something like that. So he's satisfied. But he also did something funny where I forget what the guy said, and Moose is like mimicking the fans, being like, "Oh, they were doing something." I forget what the chant was, but he was like acting like the fans was chanting. It's full niggas in the fucking ring right now, and nobody else in the arena. But I don't know. Moose is really good at being this guy who wants to be taken seriously because he has this old fucking belt that he's trying to make valid because of whatever this situation with Tessa Blanchard and the Impact Heavyweight Championship. I don't watch the show enough to know exactly what that is, but the initial conversation was how important is this belt that he's carrying.
Mm-hmm. So the one thing that we mentioned, or that was a question, was that like, not only did he just bring the belt there, he was like, well, all of a sudden he was the champion.
Yeah.
Actually, what happened, he bought the belt there, but that first match with him, and I believe it was Michael Elgin, was for that belt.
Yeah.
So he legit won it.
He won it in a that's almost like saying, all right, I went to WWE shop, I bought a $300 Bray Wyatt championship belt. I get in the car, I drive down to Maryland, pull up, we record right in the Buffy studio.
Okay.
Impromptu match for the Bray Wyatt champ. I can't beat you in a match in your basement and say I successfully defended this WWE title.
But if there's a vacant belt which this was. It was essentially a vacant belt.
It's a vacant title. Nobody was using it.
It was a dead championship.
It's a dead championship, correct?
And they revived it. This is the way they did it.
But
it wasn't like so we can't. All right, we cannot move forward with the narrative that nigga was walking through Jeff Jarrett's garage and was like, "Oh, look at this! I'm gonna put this on TV tonight." The bookers at TNA, hold on. The bookers at TNA said, "Here, nigga, take this belt, go out there, tell niggas we don't have a champion. Tessa Blanchard or her chin cannot make the show tonight. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna have you come through, and we're gonna have at least a secondary main event title out of this belt."
Yeah.
Hold on. But it's still not recognized as a title.
Yeah.
This is what the argument was.
Correct.
Because as you can see here, it hasn't been a title since 2017. And I think that's the only problem is I don't know if we're supposed to take this TNA World Heavyweight Championship that Moose is carrying around as a legit title. I think I think Impact has to do one of two things. I think they need to let it be known.
Chris Bay or Willie Mack.
That's zero. That's what they should have done in the first place. They need to either change the storyline so it's not just this black guy was rummaging through somebody's trash or found a belt. And two, they should just sanction it then. Now's the perfect time with whatever is going on with Shorty. They're probably going to have to because they unified this belt with another belt, or like the unifications and everything they've done with a couple of belts have been a little fuzzy over the last couple of years. They're probably going to end up unifying this with whatever belt Tessa Blanchard was holding. It's a lot.
I'm gonna be the first nigga to say that when he won the title, I was all for the nigga being whatever champion it was, because I'm not fucking with Tessa Blanchard.
That's a fact.
I'm still not fucking with Tessa Blanchard.
Neither is TNA.
I'm gonna rock with
because she kind of racist.
100%.
Okay.
100%.
Just making sure we're on the same page.
And even though me and Moose ain't on the same page, I'm rocking with Moose because Moose looks like me.
Yeah.
A little bit.
Kinda.
We from the same state.
Around the east.
I can't go against them.
That's a fact.
I wonder.
Let me tell you, the ill part is, so when we were having this argument, there's something I said that we hear again in this story. I said when we were having this argument, and I purposely didn't bring it up when it was said again because I knew we were going to talk about it here.
Here he goes.
Is I said when it
this.
boils down to it, I put him higher on my list because I felt like the niggas behind him would enjoy his spot on television. Because in an argument for another wrestler, someone asked, why was Montez Ford so high on the list? Because he's done a bunch of backstage segments. And I had to reply, there isn't a bigger currency in professional wrestling than television time.
Facts.
Which also proves true in this case.
You're not wrong. I think the flip side, though, is outside of what Moose has done to bring this, for lack of a better term, defunct title into the conversation and have like some really, fun and engaging like heel gimmick work.
Mm-hmm.
Can we keep it a buck?
We always do.
Is this my okay? I'm waiting on this.
How good of a year has he had as a performer?
So here we go, nigga.
Okay.
Now, mind you, he's 44 on the list. He's 44 on the list, probably because of everything we just spoke about.
Fuck all that shit, Cal. Fuck all that, Cal. Let's get to. I'm
get
sorry. I don't want to be the gun jumping but let's keep it a buck.
But again, and this is why I go back. This is why I have to go back before we get into it.
I'll jump out the window, nigga. Let's keep it a buck, nigga. Let's keep it a buck. We gonna get this shit shaking.
Mm-hmm.
So what happened was we had two individuals, I'm not gonna say their names, questioning why Moose was at the 44 slot. Mm-hmm. My reply was, I said, although Moose, and I added Moose, I said, although Moose's record is amazing, he has a very good record this year, Moose has lost all of the important matches. I said I don't know if he was on TV the whole year, but I made that argument, and I was like, okay, it's some people out there that have not had enough TV time, but when they're on TV, they make the most of themselves being on TV.
Word.
And I wasn't sure, pardon me, I didn't think that I got the same thing from Moose. I like Moose.
Mm-hmm.
I like Moose. No problems with Moose. So he saw that.
Mm.
After he saw where he was posted in general.
Which he shared on, because you put every spot went into the Instagram story.
Every spot went into the Insta story.
And everyone was added.
What happens? Moose shares the spot.
Which had the number,
post.
It had the number 44 right
44.
on it. 44. He shared it. He was the first. You figure we
dropped the very first person.
Because we dropped a little afternoon audio-wise. I think it might have been around 1 o'clock, somewhere around there, when you had started, when you had gotten like the first batch of stuff on the Instagram. And within 5 minutes, he shared that shit to his story. It might not even have been 5.
So he shares it. He likes it, shares it. Granted, this is 1 year to the day when he liked and shared it before. When he liked and shared 2019's list.
When he was on the list. So mind you, he's made the list 2 years in a row. There's niggas that didn't make the list. There's only 50 niggas on the list, men and women. This is worldwide. We had British niggas on the list, but we had a British nigga on the list. The Kofi's African. Shouts out to
Ghana.
So hold on, brother Cal. This is a list. Last year, Moose ranked 36. You were 36 out of 50.
So he went down.
He went down 8 slots.
Yeah.
But that is because this year was one of the best years for Black professional wrestling ever.
A lot of people stepped up.
Hey, say that.
Bianca Belair's a lot of people stepped up.
You know what? No. Let me not even be. This was the best single 365 days for Black professional wrestlers ever.
Yeah, if you're a fan of Black pro wrestlers, now's the time to be.
It was helped by quite a few issues, and we can get into that in a second.
Yeah.
Hold on. So let me keep marching along. So you were ranked 39 last year. This
36.
year 36. Pardon. 36 last year. This year 44. Dropped 8 slots. No, that's not bad when you look in the grand scheme of shit.
Word.
So why don't we go to the other side of the tracks on PWI's list, my nigga?
Yeah.
You ranked 126
out of 500.
There's no argument there. Just like I said prior, I said, yo, regardless of my issue with Moose, Moose, I'm rocking with Moose because Moose looked like me. You got my support.
Moose is somebody your son could look up to and say, yo, I want to be strong like that.
Moose got my support. He got the whole podcast support.
That was Mark Henry for my son. It's funny how your favorites can.
It's fun. turn your rivals.
Funny when the guard get to acting like. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
So
the broads.
So
Hold on, Cal. So you mean to tell me on our opinionated list?
Yes, it is
Again,
our
I'm
three.
gonna say this
You gotta get
again.
there. Hold on. No, brother Matt, you have.
I'm just saying.
You jumped your own one at that point.
I didn't.
Keep
I didn't
going.
jump yet. I didn't jump yet. On our opinion, in our opinion, you rank 44 out of 50.
Correct.
They ranking you 80 slots after that.
Yeah.
You got niggas like Heath Slater above you.
He ain't got a job right now, does he?
He got kids.
But he got kids.
Does he actually have kids?
I hope
Hell
not.
no.
I honestly hope not.
Niggas got Dean Malenko over top of you, pause, and he ain't wrestled in 15 years.
Yeah, he's sitting behind the guardrail.
But
where was your post about that?
You coming for our necks because our list is stupid.
But wait, all right, so like you said, the conversation was going on with a couple of people who shall not be named. You added Moose. It was
on some love.
How many hours later was it?
I don't get enough.
A day.
It was a day. It was 24 plus hours later. Was it? It was Saturday?
It was Saturday.
It was Saturday morning.
It was 48 hours later.
Niggas can watch cartoons and eat Cookie Crisp.
It was 20 because we dropped Friday. We dropped
Thursday.
No, we dropped the BRP 50 was Friday though.
But
we put his post up would have been Thursday.
Right.
His post would have went up.
He had a problem Friday.
I thought it was Saturday, but anyway.
No, it was Friday morning. It was Friday morning.
Okay.
But either way. So, Mans gets up Friday morning.
Like a maniac.
I don't know if maybe he shared the story and didn't look at the number. Maybe he liked the post and didn't look at the conversation. At some point, he said,
got strapped to his back.
He saw where he was and said, "This list is garbage." He said it to himself, and then he got the Twitter fingers. What was the first thing he said? Because what I want the title of the show to be is not what I think he said first.
It is.
I don't remember.
That's not what he said first.
It's not what he said first.
He said this list is stupid.
This list is stupid.
He said this list is stupid. Fuck, I can't remember the wording now. I feel bad.
Nah, you don't.
He said
this list is stupid.
He said
you guys are picking people you like.
That was essentially what he was saying.
It was the gist.
And
the nigga says this list is dumb. Probably should retire from making any kind of lists.
That's what he said.
Which I've heard that last 7 years. I've heard that how many times a month. Like so. Anyway,
hold on. He proceeds. The validation of your list is suspect. Imagine making a basketball list and placing guys who don't play pro ahead of guys who do. Laughing my fucking ass off. Seems like you are making a list based on who you like and nothing else, which is your opinion and you're entitled to it.
Really
Don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. I'm not mad at all about it.
Lies.
I just feel
lies. Filthy lies.
Okay.
And Moose, I was rocking with you. And lies. Nigga, you got high blood pressure for how salty you is, my guy. Like, all right, hold on.
Hold on, cuz. Hold on.
I'm sorry.
Just feel like there isn't any true validation for it, because the truth is most on this list would like to trade spots with
that was the bar
currently.
That was the bar. So that was the bar that I said when we were arguing.
That was it.
Right.
And then he hold on. And then he comes 29 seconds after.
Is this when he signs the love letter?
Take me off this list. Thanks.
He said, take me off this list.
Take me off this list. Ellipsis. Thanks.
Jesus.
All right. Can I
That's
do
a great.
it now?
I will say that's a great title to the podcast. But
That
yes,
is-
go ahead.
That's
Go ahead.
easily the name of the podcast this week.
I just also want everybody to know that Moose on the PWI came under Colt Cabana.
Yeah, exactly. And I do want to preface what Fam's going to say with, while he said he wasn't mad at the list overall, Mav had to go to the screenshots for these comments because after Moose dropped these, maybe like 20 minutes later, he deleted everything that he posted in the comments under that particular image of 44.
And it's because he did care.
Of course.
And Moose, let me talk to you, Moose. Moose, you should care. Moose, you should care. And the reason why you should care is honestly the reason why brother Kel Dansby, brother Andreas Hale was talking about this list is because with what we're doing and what we need to do is validate our own sources and not really not necessarily take credence away from other platforms, but we need to give credence to our own platforms so that our voice is heard in our corner of the room.
Fact.
So with that being a fact, Brother Moose from the nigga on the pod, who was in agreement that you were supposed to be higher. Family, you didn't read the room well.
Word.
My nigga, at the end of the day, we rooting for you because you, to quote my cousin, look like us.
Word.
We're here to shine light on professional wrestlers that look like us.
Word.
In turn, when you are covered by people that look like you, if you don't realize that we put light on you because we are a voice that isn't traditional,
yes,
you need to be cognizant of the fact that anything that comes from our corner of the room needs to be supported.
Word.
So if wrestlers come from our corner of the room, you need to be supported. If there's a manager, if there is a referee, shout out to Ace Pereira. If there is a manager that's in here with two whack niggas, shout out to my nigga Malcolm. We need to back these people because they look like us and
Right.
their coverage is not going to be matched on any other level. So that being the case, when you are covered and if you disagree with the level of your rating, it isn't your place to attempt to invalidate our opinion. My nigga, we follow you. Hit our inbox. Like, dang, fam, why I'm so low? Well, XYZ. No.
Yeah.
You came in here and said, man, this is dope. I see my face. Hold on, why am I that low?
Yeah.
Man, this is dumb. My nigga, what you did was immature, short-sighted, and tone deaf. And we still rock with you.
And we still here. We still here.
Hey,
So congratulations.
drop the whole podcast. Just drop the bitch.
Congratulations on your spot on the list, my nigga.
Yeah, you still here. You still here.
Yo, that's my cousin.
That shit is ridiculous. Up in my shit.
Sorry for
Make sure you splice this part, and we're gonna upload this bitch. You splice that shit.
Don't splice this part because the funniest part about all this is so he goes on a rant in the comments. Like I said, comments is gone.
Fuji water in the middle of the pandemic. Niggas is out here in the street hurt.
That's fucked up. That's fucked up. Don't show that ever again, though. Pour that in a glass.
I can't like what I like.
Pour that in a glass or something. Throw that bottle under the table.
And they got 40 ounces of Indian blood on his hands.
That's a damn shame. That's a goddamn shame. That's a goddamn shame. Nah, so Moose drops all these comments in the post.
Oh, man.
I don't know what made him realize, hey, this is probably a bad idea. Deletes all the shits.
Delete all that shit, nigga.
Hops on Instagram Live and starts hitting the fucking elliptical or whatever. He said, look, 2021.
Young niggas had me scared.
If a nigga's at 44, it's a problem. Let me get my weight up today.
Math Damon. That's your cousin.
Young nigga had me sweating, cuz.
He ain't say nothing. He popped right up on that shit and was just doing reps. I said, yeah, go ahead. You're welcome, nigga. You're welcome.
Whew.
Shouts out to Moose.
Yeah.
Current TNA World Heavyweight Champion, whatever that means.
Niggas throwing themselves smooth off the roof.
You know what it is though, but at this point, because the thing that I think people forget is it's the end of June, so we already in May to May. We paying attention. We've been paying attention. Sasha Banks, Moose could be an interesting character for what's going on right now. Like, you know, it's we're never not watching, but
the stupid part is at this point, if things keep going the same way, this nigga is definitely moving up in the world.
He probably will. Up on the list.
He probably will.
Up on the list.
This nigga's gonna get the, and we should have did it this year, but we didn't. But next year, we definitely doing the Sherman Hemsley moving on up the list award. You know what I'm saying?
Might need to start doing. We should do that. Because
next week we'll award the Sherman Hemsley moving on up award for a nigga that was low last year and moved on up to the top. We'll discuss that next week.
I think next year, like how you have WrestleMania and then the Monday after WrestleMania, I think the podcast after the BRP 50, because again we've been sitting here talking about the fallout for how long?
Yeah.
We should have like 4 or 5 different awards, just like Royal Rumble stats. You know what I mean? Who had the highest jump?
Shout out to Bianca Belair.
Somebody that wasn't on last year that made the jump. You know, things like that.
Bianca Belair, shout out for the moving on up award. You already won it.
Yeah.
Hopefully on TV at some point.
Next year, the winner, number 1 on the BRP 50, get an Averex.
The 8-ball jacket.
Where are you gonna find the Averex?
A whole 8-ball jacket.
Exactly. Niggas gonna get the yellow Averex.
Hey, yo, what if niggas got some chocolate? Never mind. Go ahead, though. What we talking
about? Serious shit. Because the other thing that went down, I guess the same weekend, I forget when I first started hearing about
that weekend.
It might have been that Saturday. And it was mostly out the UK. It was the hashtag speaking out was a thing.
That was that Friday night.
Yep.
Hashtag speaking out. It was all over the Twitter. If you were a pro wrestler who has done some
unsavory,
foul, nastiness,
funky,
skullduggery
in your past,
shout out to Mike Tyson.
You were getting called out. A lot of people. I think Jack Gallagher was the first name I saw to actually get bumped out.
Did you see his mustache? Who didn't know that nigga was a villain?
Yeah, how about that? But I think the thing to
like
know
that
going
theme song with da 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 da, like he was a villain.
I will say, if there's a theme song to this, it's probably titled "All Your Favorites Are Terrible." Because it was a lot of people.
I ain't seen
not my favorite. I ain't seen a
whole lot of. Never mind. Go ahead though, because
no disrespect to Davis, but I'm talking to.
Shout out to Davis.
There's a lot of white internet wrestling lovers who made guys like Joey Ryan and guys like Matt Riddle.
Let's not jump off bridges yet.
I'm just talking about allegations. Just talking about allegations. Will Ospreay's got allegations.
I know that hurts the New Japan niggas, man.
You know, it's Shakara is getting shut down.
Done. Rest in peace.
There's a lot going on. So yeah, like I said, Jack Gallagher I think was the first person to get bounced out because of
they got that nigga gone.
He was right after Jimmy Havoc. Right after Jimmy Havoc.
I think Jimmy Havoc's was what? It was an ex-girlfriend who talked about the wild shit he was putting her through during their relationship.
Is Jimmy Havoc the one that was going to he's going to treatment?
Yes, yeah. They said he went to go seek help, so he's going to be off TV. And I mean, I will say, you know, AEW's been very good with getting right to the shit. Like, you know, oh, y'all heard something about him? Bet this nigga about to go take me on timeout for a bit.
However, they just put niggas on timeout. They haven't chopped any trees.
Sammy Guevara's chilling right now for saying he would. What was the line?
I don't know. He
would rape Sasha Banks.
So let's talk about his arc, right? Because his is a story arc. It started with Sasha Banks tweeting out that she's better than like the Revival or FTR or whatever they're called now, and whatever tag teams. And of the tag teams she named, she also named Les Sex Guys, which is Jericho and Guevara, right? So,
question: Are those? Do they have any? Because I know FTR and Sasha Banks were like buddies.
They were cool, yeah.
How cool was she with Guevara and Jericho?
I don't think she.
I don't know.
I don't think at all.
Yeah,
I'm just asking. I'm just asking.
Now, but when I get into this next part of the story, I think when that light bulb goes off, you might have a problem. Because what happens is he replies with, "Uh-oh," and this isn't verbatim, but he says, "Uh-oh, whatever." What's Ricochet's real name? Ernest or something like that. Whatever.
I don't remember his name.
Trevor.
He says, "Uh-oh, Trevor's gotten, or Triple H has gotten Trevor's password and is tweeting from his account." And then he posts a picture of Triple H and Ricochet as a young fan with the perm, basically saying Sasha Banks looked like Ricochet with the perm.
That's disrespect.
Which gets into some weird racial area.
Yeah, it's disrespect.
I mean, they are a similar skin tone.
Well, I mean, they're both mixed,
right?
But
if you were going for the bar, if you trying to diss Sasha Banks,
but it could be passed off as something else, like, oh, it's a joke.
Yeah.
That could be passed off.
No. It was what it was. It was, I am trying to insult you.
Facts.
Right? And you look like when Ricochet was shaking Triple H's hand. You know what I'm saying? This is the right. And if you are out here living tone deaf and you aren't able to read a room, then the problem becomes you said what you said, right?
Word.
But that's kind of how these niggas is. So what also happens with these niggas, and when I say these niggas, I'm talking about niggas that are out here on your Reddits, on your 4chans, in your message book, in your message book, message boards, and
I'm out here on these forums, cuz.
Twitch.
Niggas talk
you banging, cuz.
Niggas talk really, really stupid in these rooms. And so
they
what
really
happens
do. No, they really do.
These niggas got in a shovel bag because they were offended at what he said to Sasha.
Yeah.
And dug up a 4-year-old audio quote.
He was on a podcast.
And the nigga says,
he said, because that was the thing. This is when he was at the WWE, I think.
yeah, he was
Maybe at the
backstage at
Performance Center
WWE or something, and he saw her. And what he wanted to say is, good gosh, she looked amazing.
What a beautiful woman.
Facts.
That is what he wanted to say.
Facts.
However,
what an attractive woman.
In his Redditness, what did he say?
I would like to rape her.
This nigga here.
That's what he said.
Nigga here. And
I would like to rape her.
Here is
got to be like the worst person in the room. Just say she's an attractive person. Stop being a dickhead. Why we got to be dickheads?
Here's the 2020 conundrum here, right? Is I do not think Sammy Guevara wanted to hold down this woman and take something that she didn't want to give to him.
No.
I do not think that, you know what I'm saying? Because I don't want to paint that picture, even though he needs to be reprimanded and learn a lesson from not talking like this, right?
Yeah, yeah.
I don't think he wanted to take whatever virtue from this woman. Right. However, nigga, you cannot talk about that. No. You cannot talk about women like that. You cannot. No. It is stupid. It is juvenile. And it is uneducated and slightly exponentially tone deaf.
Yeah.
Better.
And it's detrimental to your future. I think you're seeing it across industry. You're seeing it just, in general right now. The floodgates are open in terms of past conduct.
Yeah.
Coming to light for a lot of people. Again, I mean,
some niggas don't know how to conduct themselves. This shit is weird to me. It's weird to me. And I know it's I don't know how to say what I want to say. I know if it's a woman that's listening, she's probably like, this nigga is oblivious to what is going on. And that shit is weird.
Yeah.
That somebody would have those thoughts.
Well, but I think it's weird to you because you are a normal human being. Just like it's weird to me. Like, I can't get into certain things I would love to have conversations about right now, but correct. I've learned a lot about people who I thought were normal. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's I'm not saying I'm like the model citizen or the best person in the world. I have my faults just like everybody else should, just in terms of being like, an asshole, like a grump.
Yeah.
A pessimist to some. Like, my shit's fucked up in my head too. But there's like a certain way to conduct yourself. And when I hear stories of people like Brandon Stroud, who runs, I think at the time of recording this, I don't know if he's been fired from Up Rocks, but he runs or was running with Spandex, their wrestling site. They did a lot of the, actually he specifically did a lot of the very insightful, very dope, just all around dope wrestling writing and reporting. Apparently, and he was somebody who over the years I grew to like kind of know, or at least we would talk in a DM randomly, like I seen him, like we were friends on Facebook, and I would see him talk about certain things that were going on. But then to find out that I guess not only did he have allegations come out a couple of years ago, but I guess he's allegedly been like a really weird creep when it comes to women and like private photos and there's a lot of allegations against him. And I gotta believe there's some truth in him because he deleted his Twitter. I can't find him on Facebook. Like, he's still on Instagram, but I think he might not. I don't know how private he is with his Instagram, but it's it's a good time if you want to see a lot of the way, and we'll talk about some of these whack people that are getting the fuck up out of here. It's good to see that, but it's really terrible to be like a decent human being and having to see so many stories of people taking advantage of other people.
Shit is foul, dog.
Kids. Because right now it sounds like Velveteen Dream might be out of here. That's the one thing that is going to bother me about the Black Wrestling 54 2020 is that because Velveteen Dream was top 10.
Yeah.
We had to put an asterisk because there were new allegations that dropped like the same day that we recorded the podcast.
It dropped
the day
that
it dropped.
hour.
Yeah.
They dropped that hour.
We had to have a powwow about it to see, because we had already recorded. The information is out there. But who it was Joey Ryan was a big one. He eventually got fired from Impact. I forgot that he was part of a faction called Cancel Culture.
The irony.
But he sounds like he was a real piece of shit.
He was a piece of shit.
His story's what? He was married. Was he cheating on his wife?
I didn't know he was married.
I think at one point he was married, and maybe. No, I think the story is he was married. It ended badly, and that kind of like he kind of just started doing all the wild shit he wanted to do. It sounds like, which I guess involved forcing women to do things they might not have consented to do.
Sexually abusing, raping.
Last I heard, I think there were like at least 16 different stories that had come out about him. And he dead at everything. He was dead in social media. He was dead in like his personal like businesses and stuff before Impact, I think, pulled the plug.
Don't bring that nigga back ever.
I mean, he shouldn't have been around in the first place. His whole thing was that he flipped somebody with his dick.
Like, see, that is art imitating life. Or is that just the nigga hiding in plain sight?
It's hiding in plain sight. It's hiding in plain sight.
That was a bar.
It was a bar. He was hiding in plain sight, though. I think that's the problem. So many of your favorites. Will Ospreay didn't have allegations on him specifically, but they did.
What is the story on Ospreay? Because I heard his name mentioned, but I don't know.
If I'm not mistaken, he had a friend. Because a lot of this started it was a lot of UK wrestlers again. Yeah. That's why Jack Gallagher was the first one. I believe Will Ospreay had a friend who had allegations on him, and they say that he knew about what was going on and said that he wouldn't get him bookings in whatever federation they wrestled in. And then maybe like a year and a half later, he was taking bookings again. So they called him out for protecting people who are alleged to be sexually assaulting people, things like that.
Matt Riddle's name was mentioned this week.
Matt Riddle. Well, again,
there were text messages released, tweets, DMs. But the thing that was weird with him is, and this is one thing, and I've always kind of had a problem. My cousin attests to this. Is I've had a bit of a problem with cancel culture because I always feel like in these situations there's a great deal of rush to judgment, right?
Yeah.
Because per last Friday or last Thursday, Matt Riddle was finished. He was guilty.
Yeah.
As sin. He did it.
Nobody was rocking with him no more, allegedly.
It was over.
Yeah.
I just read that his push will continue because Mr. Riddle had informed the WWE of said allegations 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And now the fruit is becoming ripe. He's getting put on SmackDown, and now all of a sudden, here comes the allegations. Now, this is what I want. This is the only thing that I need to kind of change, really, right? Because there's always been a very strong rush to judgment in these situations of men. Like, if they said he did it, that nigga did it. I need women to strongly come out against these women when things have been proven that there are untruths, because what that does is really muddy the waters to a dangerous point to women who have really experienced these things. And I don't want to come off like I'm victim shaming or whatever. No. That's not what I'm saying here. What I'm saying is when these people have come out and they have lied, right? I need it to be a loud feminine voice that says, no, you're wrong.
Yeah.
You're wrong. You need to stop this because you're making it difficult for the young lady who is really dealing with one of these horrible situations. You know what I'm saying?
And you might be stopping someone else who would want to come out, who might not, because they might be looked at as a liar initially, even if they're telling the truth. Yeah, definitely. Correct. Yeah, that part of the game definitely sucks. I think, was it Royal Rumble? I think it was Royal Rumble was the last time that people were really loudly pushing for Matt Riddle to get the call up to the main roster. Mm-hmm. And at the time, because I believe there was also a story, did he have an altercation with Goldberg?
Goldberg, yeah.
I think he had also been talking, and it was Brock Lesnar. I think there was also a backstage thing as well. Mm-hmm. So Meltzer, at the time, Meltzer was like, yeah,
this guy's a jerk.
They're not, with all this stuff going on, they're not going to just throw him into a thing with Goldberg or Brock. And then he would say, there are other circumstances that are also hindering his push. This was back in January, February, but he didn't expound on it. Now this week, come to find out, he talks about how the WWE knew, because when the story, I believe the woman said that it was him and a bunch of, because she was a wrestler as well, or is a wrestler as well. I forget her name. Sorry. Mm-hmm. But she said it was him, a couple of guys who are also wrestlers, and her were in a van, I think, on the way back to a hotel or something. And he was pressuring her to have sex. She said no to full-on sex in the car. I mean, there's 4 motherfuckers sleep like right next to you. Who the kind of savages are we? But she said she did agree, to do some other things. And then I guess around the time that this happened was also around the time that he got hired. And he would have, because it was only a couple, again, you said 2018, it was only a couple of years ago. And I'm assuming at that time is when he was like, boom, there is this allegation. Meltzer also, I think he also mentioned that the WWE might not 100% believe the woman accusing Riddle, and that's why they're okay to continue pushing him. But they got a history of
facts
pushing abusers. I mean, Jimmy Snuka dead, but come on. Who caused Nancy Head to get like that? I'm saying. So yeah, don't be surprised if you just keep seeing Matt Riddle on your TV screen, unless this thing is true and something else comes out. Dave Lagana resigned from NWA. He straight up resigned. They said this man lived in Los Angeles with a woman as a roommate. Another woman.
A really weird story, by the way.
Another woman came to him and said, yo, I need a place to stay. He said, sure, no problem. You can sleep in my bed. We'll be fully clothed. We friends. She said, and it was fine. I guess the arrangement was okay. And then one day she said she woke up and he was doing shit. She said she made him get.
What was he doing specifically, though?
from what I read, he had his hands down her pants as he was masturbating himself.
Jacking off. He was jacking off and rubbing on her. Okay.
From what I remember reading, it said that she kind of like violently like pulled herself away from him, and he stopped. But then, like within the week, he was kicking her out the house. So you have to wonder, like, if she let him finish, would she still have been staying there? You know what I'm saying? It's like
this is an interesting one, right? So let me I feel like the Me Too movement is based on niggas who repeatedly do scumbagging.
Harvey Weinstein, Russell
Right?
Simmons. Sorry.
If a nigga shoot his jumper and it get blocked, now even if it's a wildly weird jumper,
yes.
If he get backed out of the paint, like nah, and he don't pursue or force himself, he isn't a predator.
I don't think. I mean, it's all bad. I will say this is all because she still woke up and something was happening that she didn't want happen or she didn't consent to.
Yeah, no, 100%. This is his wild jumper. She said,
I don't know.
Hold on, wait. You gonna have to explain this.
She said nah.
But he was already.
I don't know if it's fair to wonder if there are levels, because I think at the end of the day she still felt violated. I understand what you're saying. I think it's a difference between what Dave Lagana, and I'm assuming he did it because he's the one that resigned. It's not like they forced him to resign. The story.
No, he was like, actually, no, I'm wild. I was wild.
He's out.
That's what he said.
And I don't think the story's recent. I think it's from a couple of years ago. Mm-hmm. But there's probably it seems like there's a difference between that and what Joey Ryan is said to have done, where there's multiple women. Correct. There's questions about, him during sex forcing things without even like asking for consent, things like that. Again, it doesn't make Dave Lagana a better person, but I can see that there are some people who are more serial abusers, I guess is the best way to say it, than others.
I think for me, what happens, right, is that because of the how like society is now, where like if you do anything that even smells wrong, you're completely guilty. Yeah. What happens is if a guy who's in this male-dominated field, right, in a country who has always pushed misogyny, so that's really the environment we're in. It's a super misogynist culture. There's a rape culture that exists in this country. There's a validation.
It's embedded in the system.
100%. There's a validation that we've grown up with called boys will be boys. All of that. In light of that, what happens is the get back, the backlash of all of that is if they say a nigga did anything from a position of power, be that of physical power or political power backstage, there's a point where we see as hyper, like I don't want to say like it's extra guilt that feels assigned. So like if a guy who's backstage hollers at a lady and he's like, what's up, yo, let's get up, let's go, you know what I mean, let's go lay up somewhere. And she's like, ew, no. And then the next day, she's not the world champion.
Yeah.
This is what happens when the people who are egregiously guilty don't get prosecuted well. It's because you lump him in with the nigga that just hollered at the chick. I think the culture in this country has really muddied the water to where it's a binary thing where either everybody's guilty or everybody's innocent. And I think there is a gray area here that we need to recognize and kind of have some sense about. So there are some obvious scumbags here.
Yeah.
But like a nigga like Sammy Guevara was really stupid.
Well, I mean, I don't want to cut you off, but I think that's probably why, because Sasha Banks ended up having the conversation, and she ended up posting. She let the world know, I do not like or appreciate what he said, but I do want to have the conversation, and I think, and I'm not condoning it at all, but I think because of what Sasha's into, Sasha's lifelong pro wrestling fan, anime fan, all that nerd culture, all that stuff.
Yes.
Being a mixed race woman in all of that, she's probably heard everything, and I think she probably understands the levels to some of that stuff more than others, and has probably interacted with hundreds of Sammy Guevara's online. You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
And knows that
her DMs and instant messages and all that have to look insane. And so I feel like she's been. I remember her talking when she was on Hot Ones, and they asked her, and I had to explain to my wife the other day, and she was like, "Why do you know about that?" About like custom pro wrestling videos. And she was talking about like they wanted me to like step on girls and be barefoot and she said she wouldn't do those type of videos.
Mav said, "What's the URL?" Mav said, "What's that app?"
And she said, "I just wanted to wrestle," right? And so being that we like exist in a place where that exists, yeah, absolutely, you're right. She's seen all of that and she understands all of that. But she knows how to navigate it. And that's why she's dope. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to her response this week. I think she did an amazing job.
Word.
Niggas is filthy.
That's a fact.
Who, Jim Cornette? I think the jury's still out on that one though.
Marty Scurll.
Yeah.
What did he do?
Marty Scurll.
His was with young women, right? Young girls, right?
With a drunk 16-year-old.
At a party?
Ooh.
At a party.
Yeah, he got to go.
That was one of the other things, because I think over there, I think you only got to be 18 to drink.
Yeah.
And
16 or 17 is what she was.
I think pub culture is very ingrained. Like that's just once, if you're out of school, out of work, whatever, you're just at the pub. And I think that shit can get out of hand. But that was the one thing Meltzer was saying. Like he was strong about it before all this. It's not the first time I heard him talk about it, but he was really big on pro wrestling schools not taking people under 18. And it's crazy because I mean I'm assuming I'm assuming Izzy is fine. The little girl who was a big Bailey fan, who's also just like a really big pro wrestling fan. I'm assuming her parents are in her life, but she's young. I follow her on Instagram because it's amazing to see her learn how to pro wrestle, like do like pro wrestling and cut promos and shit like that. But she's also my son's age. You feel what I'm saying? So it's you have to hope that their parents or guardians are. I don't know how close it is to the porn world, but I feel like you can get trapped in the pro wrestling world. Go watch Beyond the Mat and see how some of those pro wrestling schools are set up. You can get trapped in there. I imagine just like you get trapped in the world of porn or some of these other shady industries.
In Van Nuys.
No. Figure your life out, nigga. Let's go somewhere that looks like they about something, not.
Yeah, Midwest.
If the letters RF. If the letters RF are in the company name, you should back up. look, these people have been around. You know what I'm saying? When was the first time you heard about Rob Feinstein? Like these fucking
shit, this was 2000.
Yeah, 20 years
ago.
20 years you knew that niggas was whole pedophiles in pro wrestling. And it been going on for 20 years before then, 20 years before that. The Jim Cornette situation was interesting.
It
sounds like it's fugazi.
It's just I ain't gonna say fugazi.
I think
it doesn't sound abusive.
The one because I'm
freaks.
I'm still confused as to who it actually happened to, but the one guy was trying to say that.
Whoa.
The story is that it happened in the OVW days when Jim Cornette was that guy. He was basically telling people, yo, so I'm a cuck, right? And my wife wants to. My wife is. Boy. So I'm a cuck boy, right? And my wife Stacy trying to get some of this fucking pro wrestling meat, right? So if you want to be on this OVW wrestling show, you got to give my wife some of your meat, and I'm gonna watch. Because the nigga said that he was doing it being his wife, having sex with his wife with Jim Cornette watching. And when he was like, nah, I'm good with having sex with your wife while you watch it, then he got busted by the commission down there for he popped up dirty for a drug test. So he's saying that Jim Cornette, if you don't agree to having sex with his wife while he watches, he's gonna make your life a living hell if you're trying to be in pro wrestling. I don't know if it's that, but Jim Cornette did kind of admit that he's a whole cuck, right?
Yeah, it sounded like he pretty much said, "Yeah, that's how we get down. We get down."
What is his wife?
I never held back nobody.
I think he had 2 wives.
Yo,
two wives.
The problem with this story at this point in time is it runs concurrent with niggas posting memes about what they'll do for a PS5. So that marriage has been amazing for me. The Jim Cornette PS5 memes have been amazing.
Who is his wife?
I don't
know.
Kelly Kroll, Janice Kroll.
Stacy Goff?
I have no idea. It's 2 women that come up. Janice Kroll.
I think it's the Stacy woman. Hold up. Sorry.
It's 2 women that pop up.
I'm saying when I look at the fucking motherfucking Ham, the stories of the actual accusations.
Yeah.
It's this woman.
Yeah. Coke boy.
Like, what is going on?
Boy.
So Janice Kroll was his wife until 2002. He married Sin, the other woman, in 2007.
Yeah, it looked like she was a pro wrestler.
She was a wrestler. Yeah.
She was in the life at some point. But that means she got to be younger, right?
She's 43.
Wow.
She's 43.
And he's what?
Wow.
70?
85.
So she said.
My God.
So I'm to believe. She said, "Yo, your old meat, it's not hitting no more."
She's like, "Put that thing in the freezer. It's
not
gonna get hard without it."
He's 58.
If you want me to sleep in his,
only 58.
If you want me to sleep in the bed with you, you better bring some of that young meat from the pro wrestling league down here. And he said, "I guess so." He's sitting in the corner.
And they say,
beating his meat into a towel.
Listen,
while she having sex with potential pro wrestling stars, and he's in the corner. Never mind. I don't want to kink shame. I don't want to say you a weirdo for doing what you do. But what I'm saying is, I hope Jim Cornette wasn't hinging people's careers on.
I honestly don't think so.
On if they would blow his wife's back out.
I honestly don't think so. The one story that they tried to lay it on was Big Show, and Big Show's push was already guaranteed before he ever left WCW.
They're saying Big Show beat his wife down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then what? Because he didn't have a good
And they
run
got
in
a push.
WWF.
But this is the thing. That's why I kind of don't believe he was giving pushes for.
Nah, nigga was just getting his
for the
wife
bushes.
beat down.
Yeah, nah, he was just
She
a
was
whole
just-
freak. That's the face they was making.
Oh shit!
Oh
That's
gosh.
funny.
Oh man,
Was-
cuck holding.
A whole cut. I did.
Well, you know something, sister.
I'd never heard of the term H-bombing until this week, but apparently that's what Missy Hyatt and a number of other women in the world of pro wrestling used to call, like, I guess getting something slipped in their drink. Essentially, they would it was some like Bill Cosby type shit. Some shit would get slipped. Alundra Blaze said the same thing too. They would get some shit slipped in their drink. Wake up, they don't know what the fuck happened the other night.
Wow.
Keith Lee said the same shit happened to him.
Yeah.
Keith Lee said he was up in the club trying to. Keith Lee said all he was trying to do was karaoke. He was single at the time. He was entertaining.
No, he wasn't single at the time.
He wasn't single at the time.
No,
He was trying to get the woman to sing.
that was it.
It sounded like she was trying to get bust down. He said, I guess at some point,
She had that little brown tube that they have in the movies.
yeah, because he said he would get up and go away, and he would come back, and there would just be a new drink there.
Yeah.
He
Oh
said
no, it's Hennessy, baby, it's Hennessy.
yeah. He said they were going to sing a song,
And that was it.
and then he don't remember. He remember waking up and his wallet and his phone was in the room, but I guess he was
He was
and
naked.
he said he woke up naked in a hotel room.
What can you do? All right, so here's my thing. Here's my question. What can you do to a nigga that's drugged and naked?
I don't know.
Like, if the nigga
I
is
don't want to
drugged
find
up,
out.
The nigga can't, you know what I mean?
We don't
Yeah.
know what was done to him.
You're saying he can't get an erection because he passed out. So his
I'm
penis-
asking.
He may not have control of his penis. Is what you're saying?
I'm asking. I don't know.
I don't know. It
I'm
might
not
depend.
insinuating anything. I'm asking.
It might depend on the drug.
Huh?
I mean, either Keith Lee has like
Hey, that nigga.
either he was blacked out but still able to perform, and there's like some weird either and Shorty had like a great night, or there's some tape out there, or that nigga because he's a big guy. Maybe he was so big and passed out. Maybe she tried to do something and nothing didn't work because he was just snoring the whole time. Who knows?
How did
How'd they get him home?
anybody get this nigga home?
Yeah, how'd he get from the bar to the hotel room? Ask Finn Balor how you lug that big nigga from a hotel bar. I'm just saying, like he has to wrestle this man.
I'm uncomfortable here.
Have
I
you
don't know
ever?
what Brother Fam is doing. I don't know what he's doing right now. Because he turned to the side
Yeah, he
and
working
he's
on
looking over
something.
his shoulder.
Something with his hands was going on. I don't know what it was. But nah, Missy Hyatt and them, they said they was getting H-bombed. She said, I remember coming out of my hotel room and seeing a naked girl with her eyebrows shaved only with cowboy boots on, passed the fuck out.
By
I
God,
reported it to the front desk and asked to call the cops. Let's just say some male wrestlers thought it was cute to H-bomb or shit in food. I wish somebody would shit in my food.
Nah, you have to die.
Yeah, you gotta go.
H-bomb is another name for a halcyon, a sedative also known as triazolam. It's soluble in alcohol and was commonly used to spike people's drinks and knock them out. She said one time she got H-bombed and almost passed out at the wheel of her car. One indie valet got H-bombed and almost got raped. And then they said in that instance, originally they were just going to H-bomb her and then shave off her eyebrows. How it goes from I'm going to shave your eyebrows to let me just go ahead and try and rape you is crazy.
This whole shit.
It's disgusting.
Like this ain't this whole shit is like weird nigga shit.
It's Neanderthal behavior.
It screams something else, right? These niggas is it like it so the problem becomes there are regular niggas here, right? However, there are some egregious freak niggas that do something way more than what they supposed to be doing.
Yeah.
And that fact starts to make the freak niggas look like the norm in this venue, in this.
Word.
So that's the problem.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong. We're gonna keep you guys posted on anything else that comes out of the Speaking Out. I'm assuming we're not done because again, a lot of this has been UK niggas and indie niggas. I can only assume what else is lurking in the past, in like the not too distant past of WWE and WCW and things like that. Is that another Hennessy bottle?
Oh, you can see that?
Yes,
it said Hennessy.
Hey, mind your business, bitch.
It's on the camera, and we're recording a podcast. So
yeah, Johnny boy, shut the fuck up. The whole fucking lapel microphone, news anchor head ass.
Oh, you saw that?
Top peg your face out. Oh, I didn't know you could see that here.
I did not know you could do that.
You didn't notice my bottle of this gift of Hennessy. Look at this.
It was a gift from work.
They didn't love you that much, did they?
Nah.
Small ass bottle. Thank you for your service, head ass.
It was free. It was free.
Look at that shit.
Disrespect. God dang, Cal.
Look at that shit. They didn't love you that much.
It was free.
I bet it was.
God dang.
Moving right along.
Yeah, last time I got a gift from work, it was, I don't know, some razors or something, nigga. I don't know.
I got no comment on any of that stuff. Y'all believe the Undertaker retired?
Yes.
It's raps?
Yes.
I hope.
Yes.
Am I the only one that's not really into this shit?
What you mean?
I don't really care.
About the Undertaker?
Yeah.
You think you think he's bullshitting?
No, I don't. I honestly don't know. But
Have you watched The Last Ride?
I watched the first.
He watched the first ride.
I watched
the last episode.
I watched the first episode. And I, you know what? I honestly just miss the airings. Yeah. So I wanted to go back and see the rest of them, but I just said, fuck it, I don't really care. Once he said
miss the airings like the network ain't on demand, but go ahead.
Once he had that Texas shirt on.
It was a wrap, yeah. We knew where he stood.
Now I'm done.
We knew where he stood. He on this episode he mentions I didn't know that AJ Styles was the one that I guess overheard or knew that Taker was trying to have that. He wanted to have that one good match before he could retire, feeling good retiring. So he was kind of the catalyst for the Boneyard match. Taker did say if Vince was in a pinch, he would consider it. If it was a situation where you need the Undertaker, he'd have to consider it. It was some never say never type shit. But I did learn again from Meltzer that I didn't know that, because I guess it was in that last episode, he had a couple of people in his family who had passed away around the same time that they were recording the Boneyard match or when it came out or whatever. His brother passed. It was his older brother who passed from like a heart attack or something.
Yeah, his niece called him and was like, "Yo, he had a heart attack." He was like, "Oh, all right, what hospital he in? I'm on the way." She was like, "Nah, he gone."
That's crazy.
Like sitting there watching Undertaker with the shaky lip was not an easy thing to do. Undertaker's a nigga, right? Undertaker's a nigga
he's a white man. His name is Mark Calloway.
Right. It's a nigga we've grown up with watching for a good amount of our lives. Right?
Yes. Yes, it's the early 90s, yes.
A nigga who has held steadfast to that character and a good bit of kayfabe.
Yeah. I'm currently watching the 2001 era, and the Big Evil or whatever that shit was, it looked like he just walked out of bed and grabbed his motorcycle keys. But I mean, yeah, I feel you. For the most part, he's been good to do that.
So when you get this guy, and I've always talked about this, is there was going to be a point in time where we got like the Undertaker podcast run.
Yeah.
Bill Simmons, he's done Cheap Heat, he's done Sam Roberts, he's done
Ariel Helwani.
Yeah. He's done he's gotten to the point a couple times he's telling the same story.
Yeah.
Shout out, rest in peace to Giant Gonzalez. But
shout out to Giant Andre as well.
Yo, no shout out to Eric Andre, who I thought his stand-up was going to be funny. But
I didn't watch it. I've heard mixed things, but I mean, it's Eric Andre.
Andre.
You know Eric Andre? You never watched the Eric Andre show?
No, I watched the show.
You knew that shit wasn't going to be funny.
I'm so pissed off.
You knew that shit wasn't going to be funny, nigga.
When he started taking off his shirt, I just cut it off. I'm like, nah, nigga.
He is quick to pull his whole meat out.
Yeah, that shit is weird. Those are the niggas.
Those are the
niggas that shouldn't be around women.
Those are the niggas.
Those the niggas, man.
Yeah, yeah. Well, they too quick to pull their meat out. They John Hancock. Get it? Cock.
So
yeah, Black Wrestler of the Week.
Nah, Taker did mention that no surprise, the Goldberg match was fucking crazy. He's not putting it on anybody being there.
No, yeah, he's being a good guy about the Goldberg match.
But he did say, look, you know, I was 2 inches from having my whole neck broke.
Nigga said he called his old lady as soon as the match was over, like, nah, something ain't right.
Yeah, I bet.
And then you see it, and it's like, good gosh.
I bet. I mean, look, when you get to that situation, you at work, feel the pain? Nah, baby.
So there is...
It's one person you calling in life.
So you asked the question, and I've heard quite a few people say no. They don't think that Undertaker has wrestled his last match.
It's over.
The only monkey wrench here, right, is that currently and for the last 3 months, there are no crowds in professional wrestling.
Nope.
And so when he finished up, he did not finish up anywhere near what in a match where he could call normal.
Yeah.
I don't think there is a place where Undertaker will sit and be like, nah, I don't care about them crowds.
You think he's still chasing that one last gigantic WrestleMania pop?
I think so. I think that entrance he needs to do one more time.
I could see that. I could see him doing that wherever in Crenshaw WrestleMania 37 is going to be.
Calm down.
Can't wait.
When Keith Lee buried the Undertaker, nigga, this is going to be the happiest day of my life.
Keith Lee.
Get his old white ass up out of here.
What if Keith Lee could be on the run that we want Bobby Lashley to be on right now?
Let's not act like Bobby Lashley might not be on that run.
But I mean, look, I again, I don't know what happened on
Bobby
Raw this
Lashley
week.
is fighting Apollo Crews, my nigga.
That's right there. Because MVP's trying to recruit him or whatever.
Nah, not no more. He turned on. He beat him up.
They fighting.
Yeah, they beat him up.
This is going to be a good segue into the final segment, but this Friday on SmackDown, apparently they're going to be doing Undertaker special, which is supposed to include the first TV showing of the Boneyard match. I'm going to assume a lot of this is because the WWE has also been getting hit with COVID-19 positive tests. Now,
Code 10, Mr. Darnell, get them chains off the doors.
Get them chains off the doors. Renee Young's got it. I think she just tested positive like Wednesday.
That also means John Moxley,
He might got it.
Hold on, he missed this last show because he came in contact with someone.
Well, I think it was her. Yeah, I think from what I understand, I think he pulled himself from AEW because of what was going on in WWE. He's been around her, obviously. I think
they live together a little.
They
bit?
live together. I think currently they're occupying separate spaces in the house just to try and give themselves some distance. I don't know how much that's going to be able to do in the long run. Because right now Moxley's got to think about whatever his match is at Fyter Fest, which is only a week or two
at this
away.
Point, right? Here's my question. Like, all right, you think there's a possibility, right? Why don't you go immediately and go get tested?
It's a good question.
Don't work like that.
I think.
What do you mean?
You have to have it sit with you.
Yeah, I think the incubation period. Like, if you let's say you got the COVID-19 right now. Okay. From what I understand, if you get tested, if you got it today and got tested today, you can get a negative test.
You pop negative.
It's like 3 or 4 days, I think it can take sometimes. And if you get tested again, you can pop up a positive. So I think either way, it's a matter of, all right, she just popped up. Maybe I'll test the water, see how I'm feeling, and then in a couple of days, maybe then get a test and see. It seems like he's taking the precautions. There's certain people that are. I heard. It's funny because end of last week, it was reported that Kevin Owens stayed away from the Performance Center because of coronavirus fears. And then the next week, again, Renee pops up. Kayla Braxton, piece to the Black Rasslin Queen, she had the Rona twice.
Double up.
She said she had it early March. Mm-hmm. I guess that means she
double up.
She was the talent that everybody was talking about.
I'm assuming
everybody thought it was Renee Young.
It was
never
her.
Let a hard time humble us.
But
double up.
And she's been on TV. She's been doing Raw.
Mm-hmm. I ain't telling
tapings,
no lies.
Monday Night Raw, not anything else.
4, 3, 2. That's time. I got. Oh.
So I think maybe that might be a part of it. But remember, this is also weeks after whenever they had people, friends, and family come in with no masks.
They're also in Florida, though. In Florida, it's like.
Yes, they're one of those states where it's like if you're coming from there, you got to quarantine. My cousin got wrapped up in a situation like that back in was it April? No, yeah, it was early April. He's in the Navy. He had been out to sea for a minute, and he was visiting in March. He hit my aunt's house like the week quarantine hit. So he was chilling in Jersey for 2 weeks, and then he went to Florida at the end of March because he had to deploy. And then gets to Florida. He was already having issues with his bags, but when he got to the base and was like, all right, bet, I'm reporting for duty, da-da-da-da. They said, oh, you came from Jersey? Get your black ass in this hotel and stay in this hotel for 2 weeks. You know what I'm saying? So now it's like the roles are reversed. Now everywhere else where, we about to go to the restaurant, we about to go to the bar, we got to hit the casino, we got to hit the movie theater. Now your asses is all coughing. Don't feel good, do it. Protesting without masks and all that shit. Told you. I think math shit. Is you talking, nigga?
Double up. I ain't telling no lies.
So I guess because we had just talked last week about WWE possibly trying to get audiences by August. I'm assuming that's getting pushed back. Whatever dreams they have of that.
I don't think so.
You think they're still going to try and continue?
Yep.
I think August was a good idea if coronavirus cases were continuing to trend downward. The last 2 weeks,
any possibility of
they've been going up
somewhere else?
Yes. Meltzer was because I get the feeling that if more keeps going down in Florida, they're not going to be able to operate out of Florida.
Right.
Serial killer. And then Meltzer was saying something about how Sonic, there you go, Static Shock. Meltzer was saying that they might go to Philly. Like Philly might be a spot for them to record, fly people in and out to do tapings and this thing's stupid.
Troll man.
You stupid. Nah, so Philly might be a spot they'd go to, but I think I think we're about to be locked down again, and I think it's because everybody rushed to be
Everybody's
outside.
not going to be locked down. I think it's going to be state by state.
I'm locking my son. I took my son to get a haircut this week. He's staying his ass in the house until school start.
Oh yeah, nah. Mine gonna have to get another haircut.
Yeah.
The last one.
It didn't work.
No, it worked, but it's this time already. Before it go back down, you got to do it again because it could be.
Jesus. I think that's all I got for this week. Do y'all niggas got any black rascals of the week?
Clearly.
Double up.
Clearly Sasha Banks for being a real nigga.
Yeah?
Never let a hard time humble us. Double up. I'm going to go with MVP.
MVP. I'm going to go with Titus O'Neil. I saw he was a finalist for the Muhammad Ali Sports Humanitarian of the Year Award for ESPN.
Move.
I don't know when this aired. I don't know if he won this award or not because I think the ESPY's already aired. But I think
don't ask about my kids still up.
I'm fairly sure. I'm going to be honest. My kid isn't even in the same state. So I know that nigga up playing the game right now.
My son was going to bed about an hour ago.
No,
he better be in bed.
This nigga a good parent.
He better be in bed.
Good.
If not,
nigga a good parent.
Know what I know?
I'll choke that nigga. Speaking of choking niggas, I don't know homegirl's name, but my other secondary black rass of the week is homegirl who took a train in the Staten Island ferry from Jersey to Staten Island to infiltrate some chick crib and give her the business for talking shit about her. I appreciate anybody.
That's real. That happens all the time though.
I never seen no shit. Shorty, for some reason, she had a handful of braids, and Shorty was sitting on the toilet. It wasn't
my nigga.
it wasn't like she was sitting on the toilet fully, like she had her pants down. Like I couldn't tell if she was tied to the toilet.
Got the ass whipped that bad.
No. Where you just sit on the toilet.
No.
And think about the ass whipping.
No, but I feel like
I should have weaved.
I feel like you're the type of individual that has lived that lifestyle and can impart that knowledge, so I don't have to go through those life lessons.
Nigga, I got hit with a punch one time, son. Hopefully you ain't got to go through that. I got hit with a punch one time and saw all stars, my
Word?
nigga.
You saw
I thought
everything.
I was in a warp zone. Yo.
That nigga got hit. Bing!
A whole Mario brother.
If you ever seen when they throw a flashbang in Call of Duty and you get hit with the flashbang and you scream.
You're just stunned, yeah.
And you start moving real slow.
It's that beeping noise and everything, yeah.
That's it right there. When you like, pow,
no, that's usually, that's how, all right, never mind. Go ahead.
Double up.
Before we get out of here, please let the people know where they can find y'all on social media.
Hey man, LFam79 your social media choice, but more importantly at Where's Buffy, Where's Buffy.com. You already know. Huh. So this is a podcast?
Math. Math Dame. Shout out to the Rasslin niggas.
Yep.
At Cal on Twitter, at Black Rasslin on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. BlackRasslin.com is the website. And as always, you can find the Black Rasslin podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, wherever you get podcasts, we should be there. Tell a friend to tell a friend, like, comment, subscribe, rate, review, whatever the fuck.
Hit that share button, nigga.
Facts. Boost the signal so we can keep doing this and keep rocking with y'all. BlackRasslin.BigCartel.com.
Get right. Go on, get right. I'm going to get right tomorrow.
There's some stuff going on. Get the shit while it's still there.
Yep.
Or
something else on the way.
I was going to say, you either grab this shit. Matter of fact, if you a real one, support this, and then when the next one comes, support that one too.
Yep.
Buy for somebody.
Zero.
Shout out to Zero for real. Shouts out to everybody rocking with us in the Discord, on the Instagram. I'm not making any promises, but I'm going to assume next week might be more pro wrestling actual talk. I don't know when another
hey, if it ain't coming. It don't matter. We still be here.
Big facts.
Killing the content.
Big facts. We'll catch y'all next week.
Peace.
It is almost 12:30. Goddamn.
I'm going to sleep.